I want to ask, talking about brave decisions, Slovenia has an let's say, extraordinary for Western Balkans position on Palestine. You are almost close to recognizing Palestine. Tell us about that. How did you reach that decision to be at the same time European country, to be also considering recognizing Palestine?
First of all, let me just express what we were promising when lobbying for the non-permanent seat at the Security Council. Our starting point was that we do not want to be a proxy of anybody, and we were openly saying that we are not going to be a subsidy of European Union or United States of America or any other country. So we want to have our own politics. Our politics is human rights, rule of law, feminist politics, and this is what we desperately need today. So for us, and we are very unified with the Prime Minister, Minister of Foreign Affairs, me as a President. In foreign politics, we do not have open issues between the three of us. You know.
How did you reach this consensus?
Because there are values that are common values for the three of us, and also, you know, for the majority in the parliament. So the decision of Slovenia to support humanitarian law was not a difficult one. And watching the footage from Gaza and from Ukraine and from Sudan and from Yemen, I mean, it's breaking my heart. You have to believe me. Maybe as a woman, I have different political feelings. But when we discuss basic humanitarian law, that's a full stop for me and my colleagues in politics, which are, you know, on the same philosophical level. So it was not a difficult decision to support humanitarian law for me to ask on many occasions to stop the fire, to cease fire. I was asking for ceasefire in Gaza and in Ukraine for many times. And this is why I do think about what we have to do in the future. You know, we have to start discussing the reform of United Nations, because the P5 countries with veto powers are constantly slapping the rest of the member states of United Nations with veto powers. So we have to start discussing this, how to reach the position that the veto powers are not going to be abused, but used in a proper time and topics.
I'm mostly interested, how do you, as a small country, afford to have a moral antenna, which you're talking about? I'm coming this from a background where Kosovars constantly tell each other in internal conversation, we are way too small to have a position of any sort. We are way too small. This is what we tell each other. How come Slovenia, being small, comes out with this position?
Please tell them that they are wrong. You know, especially when we discuss United Nations, we have 193 members there. One vote, one country, and that's it. And now when we are in the Security Council, you can see that Slovenia is equal among at least 10 countries with no veto powers. And still, I think that the biggest added value of Slovenia in these times right now, is that we are trying to unify the 10 non-permanent members to discuss and have an open dialogue with the P5 countries. So that's what we are doing right now. And Slovenia, yes, it is small. We are sitting there, we got 153 votes